Welcome back, dear viewers, to our Media Code of Conduct series roundup. In this segment, we will highlight the key principles that define ethical journalism and responsible media practice. We began with Chapter 1, where we covered the general principles, the foundational values every media practitioner should prioritize. In Chapter 2, we delved into important guidelines for journalists, exploring areas such as professional attire, fair reporting, accountability, proper attribution, conflict of interest management, language use, conducting interviews, addressing misinformation, sexual harassment, and avoiding plagiarism. In Chapter 3, we focused on the responsibilities of journalists, outlining the essential guidelines that they should adhere to when publishing content. Today, we are summarizing Chapter 4 of the Media Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct, which focuses on specialized reporting. The first part of the chapter focuses on court reporting. On prejudice, the code clearly says that a journalist shall desist from commenting on a matter that is pending court decision in a manner that could predispose the outcome and the right of an individual to a fair trial. Ethical journalism further requires that we present the facts accurately and let the legal process proceed without interference or bias. On court reporting, we also focused on the victims. Here, the code reminds journalists not to identify victims of sexual assault or publish material likely to contribute to such identification, unless by law they are at liberty to do so. Media professionals should prioritize reducing harm to victims, ensuring that the language or content used in reporting does not traumatize or further stigmatize those affected by sexual assault. Journalists should always demand formal consent where an adult victim of sexual assault, for their own reasons, wishes to come on record. Another key issue in court reporting is the protection of minors. Journalists should always avoid identifying children under the age of 18 who are involved in cases concerning sexual offenses, whether as victims, witnesses, or defendants. Children, especially those involved as victims or witnesses in sexual offense cases, are entitled to privacy. Disclosing their identity can lead to long-lasting emotional and psychological harm. We also looked at identification, where a journalist shall not reveal the name, address of school, or include any particulars that will lead to the identification of the parties to child justice, court proceedings, or witnesses, even where the law does not prohibit it. It is essential to remember that children have a right to privacy, and disclosing their personal information may adversely affect their development, reputation, and future opportunities. Referencing is another crucial aspect of court reporting. Media professionals are advised to avoid inappropriate reference and identification of relatives or friends of accused persons or convicts unless doing so is necessary to professionally report the story and proceedings. Identifying relatives or friends of accused persons or convicts and publicly linking them to the accused could expose them to unwarranted scrutiny or harm. The second part of the Chapter 4 of the Media Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct dwells on election reporting. Here, journalists are expected to report elections in line with set electoral guidelines, unless the same could be challenged as hindering guaranteed press freedom. Electoral guidelines are set to ensure that elections are fair and transparent. By adhering to these guidelines, journalists help preserve the integrity of the electoral process, ensuring all candidates are treated equally and that voters receive accurate and impartial information. We then looked at gender reporting. Journalists are urged to ensure sources and interviews for all reporting in newspapers, on radio, television, and online present a reasonable and balanced representation of contributions from all sexes. They are encouraged to take deliberate measures to cultivate and grow women news sources database. Taking intentional steps forward to expand women's news sources database is not just a move towards more effective journalism, but also a pledge to foster a more inclusive and socially responsible media landscape. Journalists are also advised to pay particular attention to minority groups and give them befitting voices on all stories, especially those that directly appeal to their situations. Minority groups have often been underrepresented or misrepresented in the mainstream media. Providing them with a voice ensures their perspectives and experiences are accurately portrayed, fostering fairness and justice in reporting. Lastly, the chapter focused on health reporting. Media practitioners are urged to exercise caution when interviewing a patient, even where the patient has no objection, unless doing so serves the greater good and can be said to be in the interest of the public. While patients may agree to interviews, journalists must carefully assess the potential consequences of sharing sensitive health information. Media practitioners have an ethical duty to balance the public's right to be informed with the individual's right to privacy, dignity, and protection from harm. Journalists are also advised not to disclose elements of a news subject unless doing so is either authorized by the patient with a sound mind or that the public interest demands it. They are also advised to refrain from publishing unqualified comments, views, and opinions on medical issues unless the same is corroborated by a professional in that area of expertise. Dear members of the press, the Media Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct serves as a crucial framework for maintaining professional standards within the media. Adhering to these principles helps safeguard the credibility and integrity of journalism in Malawi. The code reinforces the media's essential role in educating, empowering the public, supporting democracy, and promoting a healthy society. Stay connected to our social media platforms for more information. Thank you for watching.